Madoka, in all seriousness, is a show about growing up, love, self-sacrifice, and the forces that cause people to fall apart. At least that's how it was to me when I first watched it. Madoka had the power to defeat a threat that would destroy all her friends at the cost of her own life. It is true that the greatest love someone can have is to lay down their life for those that are close to them. To say that the person they care for is above all things they could ever have or ever be. There is nothing greater. Homura, Madoka's friend, is influenced by this almost immediately, as Madoka reaches out to her and helps her feel accepted and loved for the first time. Madoka gives her the utmost appreciation, and quite frankly, becomes Homura's idol, almost akin to a type of god. She would use her powers and in turn sacrifice her own life to then save Madoka's at all costs, traveling throughout time to save her at the cost of her own. By saving Madoka, however, Madoka would feel even more compassion and love than ever before. This would cause her nature to exaggerate and explode into a vestige that would never let people like her and Homura ever reach despair and that self-destruction ever again. She would reach out a hand to all of those she related to with all her heart, and would lay down her life to protect them, thus never allowing anybody to ever become corrupted by despair ever again, past, present, or future. It's a cute story, but Madoka is just that. Madoka. She is not God or God. She is nothing more than Homura's idol, and all idols fall flat on their face and return to not like they were before when this is exposed. In turn, this idolization of Madoka causes Homura to in turn return things as they were, so that Madoka wouldn't have to suffer. Instead, a selfish and hyper-fixated idolization that, quite honestly, reveals the little girl Homura really is. Someone who is ignorant of what is happening to her and how she created a false idol that would cause great pain and destruction for many others. Idols throughout history come in all shapes and forms, whether it be the belief that they commune with the divine, whether it be a girl trying to make it as a star you can't help but watch with all your soul, whether it be your greatest desire in your heart that you fixate on with all your being and effort, that person you just have to change for to try to please and obtain. But why is an idol bad? Why are idols bad? It's because of what reality is. This is in itself is what causes the destruction of Madoka, as she is sacrificed as an idol multiple times, eventually then leading to her and her friends' own destruction. Madoka throughout her story is what people rely upon. Her dying to save the world is like you relying on her to make you feel better, relying on the idol to save you, until it eventually corrupts you and turns you into something much worse, until you eventually become the thing that props up what whores out your desires and what you love. Years ago, men and women would prophesy that one day we'd be sucked into our computers and that would be our new lives, almost linked up to a matrix. But here you are now, doing just that. Prophecy is usually taken very hyper-literally, thinking that we'd actually be in some alien abduction matrix situation, but nobody realizes that this prophecy already came to pass. The people around you get sucked into their computer, uploading their souls and lives online, trying to realize what they feel they can never be, idolizing themselves, beauty, creativity, whatever they can to avoid their own reality in that void in their heart, until they realize they can never be satisfied, and they become a witch. A witch that advertises the eventual continued destruction of others, seeing that they were already destroyed themselves, promoting them being shells of themselves, becoming objects and icons just to please the audience of other witches, creating addictions, harm, and ultimately more and more witches. Long ago, they would sacrifice children to make it rain, harm others to have love, and destroy nations and people just to make the clouds move. What they sought was God, just like you. As you try to escape into your computer, into your favorite show, gazing upon your favorite crush or gossip to bring you excitement and that bump into your chest, You realize that the gate is open from the inside and that you've lost your face. You acknowledge fictional characters such as Madoka or whatever you like for saving a bunch of other fictional characters, but not someone who saves real people. You acknowledge a man or woman for their beauty, money, and status, but not what they do with it. You cry for the starving dog, but not for the starving man. You cry for the show, understanding all the flaws of its villains and heroes, of those that are hurt, but not for your neighbors or the real person right next to you. Ignoring that you are nothing like the heroes and things that bring you hope, as your soul is locked inside a device and moving pixels on a screen, lost in your own mind. I was also this way. I uploaded my whole life into fantasy, trying to construct myself into something I would enjoy, trying to obtain others and see others, writing long dissertations about people that weren't even real, mocking my neighbor and ignoring the pleas of those that existed around me because I had nothing in the world I loved or enjoyed. I only sought after it. The only one who can satisfy you is someone who sacrificed himself for you to understand and be saved. And unlike Madoka, this would happen in our world. And that would be the Messiah, Jesus. Some of you may say, I feel this way. I'm this way or that. I'm too far into this. I can't change. Makes my chest feel sour. It reminds me of that void. The works of your heart and your life will never define you. Only your belief in Jesus, God. What happens after that, knowing you are accepted for only that fact and will live in eternal peace, not ever needing to find satisfaction or hurt others, even if unintentionally anymore, is up to you. So stand up and regain your face, because you don't have to be a witch any longer.